The story of the Holy Relics.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
From the earliest days of Christianity, believers sought to hold close the memory of those who gave everything for their faith. They cherished the remains of martyrs and saints, not as mere objects, but as sacred reminders of God's power working through human lives. These sacred items came to be known as holy relics. To the early Christians, relics were not about superstition or magic. They were symbols of love, courage, and divine grace, a physical connection to those who had walked faithfully before them. In a world where following Christ could cost one's life, relics became a source of hope. When a saint was martyred, the faithful would gather what they could, perhaps a piece of clothing, a drop of blood, or even the bones of the holy person. These were treated with great reverence, placed in simple tombs or under church altars. For the early church, these relics were not about death, but about life. The everlasting life promised through faith in Jesus Christ. The tradition began in the first centuries after Christ, during times of brutal persecution under the Roman Empire. Many Christians were executed for refusing to worship the emperor or deny their faith. Their courage inspired others, and soon believers began visiting the places where these martyrs died, praying near their graves. The tombs became sacred ground, places where heaven and earth seemed to meet. One of the earliest recorded examples was the veneration of Saint Polycarp, a disciple of Saint John the Apostle. After his martyrdom, the faithful carefully gathered his bones, calling them more precious than jewels. They celebrated his memory every year at his tomb. This act of remembrance helped Christians stay strong during persecution. The relics reminded them that death was not the end, that through Christ, those who suffered for their faith shared in his eternal victory. As the church grew, the relics of saints were placed in new churches as a sign that the community was built on the faith of those who had gone before. Even today, when a Catholic church is consecrated, a relic of a saint is often placed within the altar. It is a quiet but powerful reminder that every act of worship is connected to the great story of God's people throughout history. Throughout the centuries, many stories have been spread about miracles that occurred through contact with relics. In the Acts of the Apostles, even handkerchiefs touched by St. Paul were said to heal the sick. Later, people told of miraculous healings and conversions at the tombs of saints. Water poured over the bones of martyrs was said to bring comfort to the suffering. These stories were not meant to glorify objects themselves, but to point to the divine power behind them, God working through the faith of his people. One well-known example comes from the time of Saint Helena, the mother of Emperor Constantine. Around the year 326 AD, Helena journeyed to the Holy Land in search of the sacred sites of Christ's life, death, and resurrection. There, she was said to have discovered the true cross, the very wood upon which Jesus was crucified. Pieces of that cross were carefully divided and sent to churches across the world, bringing comfort and awe to countless believers. People saw in these relics not a piece of wood or bone, but a message. that God's love was real, present, and powerful. These tangible reminders helped turn faith from something abstract into something deeply personal. When people touched a relic, they felt closer not only to the saint it represented, but to God Himself. As Christianity spread across Europe, Africa, and Asia, relics traveled with it. They became a bridge between cultures, a shared expression of devotion. Monks carried relics of saints into distant lands, often found in churches and monasteries where the relics were kept. Pilgrims would travel for miles to pray before them, believing that in doing so they were drawn near to the holiness that inspired the saints' lives. In medieval times, cathedrals such as those in Rome, Santiago de Compostela, and Canterbury became centers of pilgrimage because of the relics they held. Some relics were small, a lock of hair, a scrap of cloth. Others were grand, a saint's body, a fragment of the true cross, or a vial of holy oil. Though relics sometimes became objects of wealth or political power, the heart of the tradition always remained the same: to honor those who lived faithfully and to remind all believers of God's unending presence among His people. Even today, relics can be found in churches and shrines all over the world. They continue to inspire prayer, hope, and conversion. For the faithful, kneeling before a relic is not about worshiping a physical object, but about remembering that holiness is possible in every generation, that ordinary people, through faith and sacrifice, can reflect the light of God. The story of the Holy Relics is not just about the past. It is about how faith can be made visible in the present. The relics of saints remind us that holiness is not an unreachable dream. It is something lived, felt, and remembered through love. Each relic tells a story of courage, sacrifice, and transformation. They speak of men and women who trusted God even in the darkest moments and whose lives continue to inspire millions. Today, we may not hold the bones of martyrs in our hands, but we still carry their example in our hearts. The true power of relics lies not in what they are, but in what they represent. The living connection between heaven and earth, between God and humanity. They remind us that the saints are not gone. They are still with us, praying for us, guiding us, and encouraging us to live with the same faith and love they once did. In the end, the holy relics are more than sacred objects, they are witnesses. They tell us that holiness endures, that love never dies, and that faith, once lived with courage, echoes through the centuries. Through them, God continues to whisper His eternal message, that in every generation, His presence lives on in those who believe,